Alright there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another MUFC Agenda video. That was a little bit too close for comfort. I mean, after what was an absolutely abysmal first half, Manchester United get a 2-1 victory over Viktoria, Plzeň in the Europa League after going 1-0 down in, what wasn't a very good moment for Andre Onana. But at least we get the win in the Europa League and what is much needed also going into the weekend versus Manchester City, because that is a big game. Because they're not playing well. They're not playing well, we're not playing well, but they have just come off a 2-0, well, they'll be coming off a 2-0 defeat to Juventus, and we get a win. So hopefully the momentum and a bit of boost in motivation can get these Manchester United players fired up for that game on the weekend, because it's going to be a big one. But let's talk about the game today. I mean, we got the win. We did get the win, and we get the 3 points thanks to the substitutions and RASMUS, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But we've got to talk about that first half. That first half was painful, to say the least. In the stream, I was doing a lot of complaining because the first half was just poor. There was no intensity. There was no ideas. The players didn't seem like they knew what they were doing, how they were playing with each other, where to put themselves in positions, where to make the runs to create space. There was a real lack of idea from the players. Not that Amorim isn't giving them an idea, they're just clearly not taking to it very well. It's taken them a while to sort out the final third. It's taken them a while to sort out the link-ups. We've even moved Ahmad up into the 10, who, again, had a good game, had a solid game. Always looks like a threat when you get him on the ball, but you need to get him on the ball more, because every time he's on it, he just looks like he's going to create something. If he's going to skip past a player and whipping across, set up his teammate, he could have had a couple of assists tonight. He was very good when given the chance. Obviously, there's still, some balls that he's giving away, sometimes dribbling it a little bit too much. But overall, it's positives again for Amad Diallo, as it always is. But yeah, that first half was just not very good. There was no tempo. And there was a lack of creativity. And I know I was talking about Amad's creativity, but apart from Amad, even though Amad didn't do much in the first half creative-wise, the rest of the team just have no idea how to whip in a ball or play a 1-2 with a teammate. In that first half, it was dreadful to watch. It was like we needed new wing-backs, we needed new 10s. We were asking, but like I was asking for every position to be changed, because it just didn't seem like they knew what they were doing. It was quite poor. Quite poor. It was poor. And thank God that Ruben Amorim made the changes, the must-needed changes in the second half. And he did eventually, after we conceded and went 1-0 down, which, by the way, Andre Onana, what has happened to you in the last two games? Unbelievable. Let's not be honest. He has been unbelievable this season until whatever happened on the weekend with Gibbs White shot, and then today giving in De Ligt a pass when he's got four players around him. Come on. Let's just focus up again. Let's get switched on. Let's not start doing all this, because he has had a good season so far. But we can't be having Onana from last season in the Champions League back again, because he was the reason. He was not the whole reason, but I'd say about 80% of the reason why I went out in the Champions League last year, because of silly mistakes like that and silly mistakes that he made on the weekend. We need to just eat them out. And maybe Onana isn't the keeper for our future when we're a few years into the Amorim project, because he's always going to have them in his locker. But hopefully he can iron them out and he becomes the keeper that I've seen and what we saw at Inter Milan and what the reason we bought him, because he has been good this season. But those errors, they need to start going away. We can't have one or two of them. One or two of them in the space of 2 games is never good, but one or two of them in the first half of the season, let alone in 2 games, is never good. It's just, they need to get out of his game quicker, sooner rather than later, because if not, I think there'll be people who will be looking at him and start to question, yeah, okay, you've got decent distribution with your feet, even though he's passed it to De Ligt when he's got 4 people around him. But we need everything. We need a bit of consistency. We can't have these big mistakes. And yes, De Gea made mistakes when he first came, but hopefully he can iron them out and show what he's been doing at the start of the season, just minus the last 2 games. The rest of the half, I mean, until we conceded, again, was I mean, I know it was quite early into the second half, but it was very similar. Not much going forward. And then we made some substitutions. Rashford come off, Mount come on, Xerxes came off, Anthony came on, who Anthony probably, I thought there could have been a chance maybe at that right wing back spot, but I don't think he's going to be offering anything to this Amorim system. If I'm being honest, I just don't see him taking control in that right wing back spot. He's taking shots and very poor shots from distance too many times. There was some nice link up with Ahmad sometimes down the right hand side, but it's not enough to earn yourself a spot in that right wing back spot permanently, because we all would love Ahmad to be in that 10 more often, because closer to goal means more chance to create goals. But Ahmad's in that right wing spot is perfect, and I just don't see Anthony replacing him anytime soon. And I do think he will probably be shipped off with a few other players, potentially Marcus Rashford, which obviously came out today that there's a 40 million price tag on him. That's very interesting to hear that, because we have always heard rumours about Rashford leaving. PSG have always been like linked and sniffing around him apparently. But to actually have a valuation of Marcus Rashford indicates to me that they are looking to get rid of him, because, of course, it's £40 million straight in the back pocket. There's no, it's an academy product, and I know we all love Rashford. I all want him to, everyone wants to do for him to do well, but the consistency is just not there. And if it's still not there by the end of the season, I would happily, not happily, but I would say goodbye and get the money, because we need to get better players and more consistent players in. However, Mason Mount, I did actually say something when he first came onto the pitch, saying, similar to Rashford, going to be watching him until the end of the season. But if he keeps doing that when he comes on the pitch or when he starts, that is absolutely fantastic, because we were talking about lack of tempo and no intensity and no ideas what the players are doing with each other. Well, when Mount come on, he changed the tempo, changed the intensity. He was moving. He wasn't just standing still around the edge of the box. He was linking up with players, with Bruno well, little flicks around the corner. He just brings that intensity that you need and the tempo that you need to change the game. And it did change the game. Him and RASMUS, who also came on, changed the game. They did change the game. Good substitutions there with them two from Ruben Amorim. Very, very happy indeed with the win. And that was all because of the subs, really. If he doesn't make the subs, don't bring Mount and Højlund on, which obviously everyone knows. Everyone knew we needed to make the subs, but those two players changed the game. Mount linking up with players, and RASMUS being in the right place at the right time on that first goal. But the second goal, great movement off the shoulder of the defender, and a brilliant ball by the skipper, Bruno Fernandes, from that, obviously, well, I was going to say from that deeper role. Obviously, it was a free kick, but playing in the deeper role tonight, good thinking. We've seen a few times in Bruno's career at Manchester United those quick ideas off the free kick. Kind of reminded me, not the exact same, but the one against City where he flicks it over and Martial hits it. Was kind of like that, quick instinct, plays it around the corner, and a great fit, touch and finish from Rasmus Højlund. And I've said it for a while, you need to trust this fella. Yes, you might want to bring in another striker who's, 27, 28, a bit more experienced and going to guarantee you goals. But even if this guy is going to be not your backup, but someone you're rotating in for the future, trust him. He will become a top-tier goal scorer. I believe in him. It was good movement for the goal, and it was a great finish. Give him chances, he'll score goals. I promise you that. I do believe he will be a very good striker in the future. Just give him time. However, that is our wrap-up for the game. I suppose we should do our player ratings for today's game. We'll do the player ratings of the starting team, and then the people who came on, if I can remember all the subs, we will do the player ratings now. It was a good win. 3 points in the Europa League for the table, up into the top 8. Hopefully we stay in the automatic qualifications and we don't have to play any extra playoff games, because we don't want to play any. No one wants extra games. There's already too many games this season. We don't want extra games. But it's time for our player ratings. Andre Onana, apart from the mistake, he was pretty steady, but because of the mistake, I'm going to mark you down to a 5 out of 10. 6 being the average. Mazraoui, for me, class as always, I would go 6.5. Not his best game, but he's always a 6. He's never below a 6. So, and I thought it wasn't an average game. I thought it was Mazraoui. 6.5, nice and easy. De Ligt for me, 7. I thought he was solid. I know I'm actually, no, he wasn't even to blame for the goal. Onana passed to him, and the pass didn't even make it to him. It was that bad of a pass. Got intercepted before it even made it to him. So I'm not even going to mark him down on the error because it's just not his fault. It was Onana's 100%. So delete a 7 for me. Martinez, I'd go a 6. I'd go a 6. No, I'd go 6.5. I didn't think he did anything worse than Mazraoui. If I'm being honest, they didn't do anything worse than Mazraoui. Didn't do anything exceptional, but just need more consistent games like that, and hopefully he can build to be the butcher again because he's come back from Argentina as a different man. He had a great summer for Argentina, and yeah, he's a little bit like the guy I'm going to talk about, Diogo Dalot, on that right hand side, coming to this season a little bit worse for wear, and it's more extreme on Dalot's side because he's gone from being our best player last season to one of our worst players this season. Doesn't look comfortable on the left or the right in this wing back system and under Ruben Amorim. And I'm going to have to start questioning, is he going to be able to compete with this formation? Is he going to be able to gel into this system? We'll give him time, of course, to the end of the season, like all the other players. They've got 6 months now to prove themselves. Are they going to be good enough? Can they be of use to Ruben Amorim? I suppose we'll see. But for me, it's a 5 for Dalot. I know it's the same rating as Onana, and he didn't make a goal conceding mistake, but just poor again, unfortunately. And it's been like that for a majority of this season. We might as well go to the other fullback and go with Cyril Malacia. I didn't think he did too much wrong, but a lot of their attacks seem to come down that right hand side. Maybe struggling a little bit with Martinez and Malacia. Slight lack of pace, maybe. Not that Malacia is slow, but didn't really get much help from Rashford either. I'd probably give him a 6. It was an average performance. I wouldn't say he did anything horribly wrong, but they were getting down his side a little bit, so I'll just mark him down compared to Mazraoui and Martinez. Just give him an average 6. Better than Dalot, that's for sure, but just more minutes in the tank for Malacia. Was it actually... No, it was. I was going to say, was it a full 90? It wasn't, but it wasn't 45 minutes. It might have been like 60 minutes. I can't remember when he came off now, but more minutes in the tank, which is all you need. Hopefully he can keep him fit, and hey, you never know, he could really improve in this system, so we'll just have to see. Casemiro and Bruno, I thought Casemiro was actually good in the tackles in the first half, even though it was a boring first half, so I'll probably give Casemiro a 6.5. I thought he was good in the tackles. He didn't do anything wrong. We were just poor going forward in the first half, and we're just passing it around the back too much. So yeah, there's nothing in that game that made me think Casemiro did anything wrong. I'd probably give him a 6.5, I think. Yeah, 6.5, slightly better than average. Bruno, great assist. Did give the ball away quite a bit. Trying that long ball a little bit too much, but in the end, captain turns up when we need him. Who am I giving him a 7? Give the ball away a lot. And those Hollywood balls from deep just aren't ideal because you just lose possession if they don't work. I'll probably give him a 6.5, same as Casemiro. I know he got the assist, and it was a great ball, great thinking, but I don't think he was as consistent throughout the game as De Ligt was. So yeah, 6.5 for me for Bruno and Casemiro. The 210s, Ahmad. It wasn't his best game, but it was just this is what I expect from Ahmad. He's just so good. He's so good. Give him the ball and he'll create something. Again, I'd probably go 7 with 6.5 with Ahmad. 6.5 with Ahmad. Similar to Bruno and Casemiro. Solid performances. Did their job. It's just what I expect of Ahmad now, and I'm not marking him down because what I expect. But he did run into a few blind alleys. But hey, you know what he's got. He's probably Mason Mount away from finishing his chance, and he gets a 7. That's the margin there. That is the margin. It literally is. He could have been a 7, but I'm just going to go 6.5 because he didn't. Well, because Mason Mount didn't score a goal. That does seem a bit harsh, but hey, I love Ahmad. He's my favourite player by a mile. But yeah, we're going to give him a 6.5 as well as Bruno and Casemiro. Rashford 5. Same with Dalot, and obviously just same with Dalot. Actually, it is different with Dalot because Dalot does care. I don't know if Rashford does. Not that he doesn't care, but he just doesn't seem interested. He doesn't. I don't know if his passion is football, because if it was, you'd see it on his face. I just don't think you do. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I don't want to pick him when he's down, but hopefully he gets into a better form, because we know there's a good player there who can create good moments, but he's not even giving us the good moments. And we all know about the work rate and stuff like that. I mean, I know he did get potentially nearly get sent off for working back, but it's just not been a very good season so far for Rashford. Hopefully he can pick up. Same with similar situation to Dallo. Xerxes, I'll give a 5.5. I thought he was not as bad as Rashford and Dallo, but his touch let him down a few times. He gets his body into good positions. He holds off defenders well, but his touch, it just bounces off his foot. It bounces off his foot big time. So, yeah. Hopefully he can work on that, because he does drop into nice spaces, and he sees the idea of players running in behind and into the space that he creates by dropping deeper. But the touch, if he just sorts out that touch, it could help him a lot, because you saw it in the first 2 minutes. He had a nice touch and took it around a few players and nearly created a chance. So that you can see it's there. I can see the idea of trying to play him as a 10 or as a striker. If he just that touch sharpens up, then there's definitely a player there. The substitutions, Rasmus, he gets a 7.5 off the bench, scoring 2 goals. He is my man of the match. There's no doubt about it. Mason Mount gets a 7 off the bench because he changed the game. Them two were very good, as well as De Ligt in the game. Fantastic. Anthony, 5. Didn't really make an impact. Had a few nice link-ups, but those shots just are so frustrating to see. Garnacho didn't really make an impact, but didn't do anything too majorly wrong, so I'll just give him a 6. Who else came on? I got a 6. And I can't remember who else came on. So, yeah, we'll leave it as that. That is it for this video. They are my player ratings. Rasmus Højlund is my man of the match, probably followed up by De Ligt and Mason Mount on the same sort of level. Well, by the ratings, it was the same level. Yeah, great game from those 3. Good substitutions by Ruben Amorim. We get the win, and I suppose that's all that matters. Hopefully we can forget about that first 45 minutes, because it was very, very painful to watch, and move on to Manchester City, which we will be live for on Sunday. We will be doing a preview for that game that should be up on the channel on Saturday. If there's any more breaking news in between, like there was after the last game, Dan Ashworth getting the tic-tac, then we will be with you on the channel for that as well. But thanks all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.